had hit that the Central Bank of Nigeria governor was arrested for financing terrorism. How did the Director General of the State Security Service convince himself that a man who was into terrorism financing would initiate and implement a policy of limiting the use of cash and encouraging the use of electronic means for transactions? It is Mr. Godwin Emefiele today who knows who will be next tomorrow. We could ask a million questions. We ask further. We now want to ask the National Security Advisor, the Chairman of the EFCC, the Chief of Army Staff, the Inspector General of Police, and other heads of relevant security agencies, if they are aware of these allegations that our country's central bank chief is a terrorist. If we did not detect this plot and it had succeeded, the world would have blamed it on President Muhammadu Buhari. Yet, the president does not know about this plot. The world would have blacklisted the president as leading a terror government, and our country would have maybe had a tendency of yet being another pariah state. The situation would have actually stalled all the progress made in the fight against terrorism and insecurity, which is a priority in our country. Why go to the court secretly? Why not brief the president of your report if it had any credibility? The shame of the plot would not have been on even Mr. Godwin Emefiele, but on the President Muhammadu Buhari, whose authority would have been flagrantly undermined and whose efforts would have been thwarted to leave a legacy as a president. For our personal safety, there are aspects of this process we could not fully investigate since our activities were discreet. The world today of these shocking findings. We had cause to believe that they had picked our trail and noticed they were being monitored. Hence, our decision to inform the world of these facts. If anything untoward happens to any of us, the world can now know that it is coming from a quarter we have mentioned today. If we are harmed, if we are kidnapped or abducted, blame the SSS. We are not scared, but we are not scared, and we are exposing this evil with all our faculties intact. We have been told, I've been told since we walked into this hall, of the dark spectacled men who have surrounded this venue. But sorry, it is too late, because the world has heard our voice. They now know what we are saying. So it must be stated clearly that the entire purpose of this dastardly plot was for political and financial benefits. The people in the plot are really very strong people, and indeed the high and mighty in our government and in our country. Apart from the already mentioned Director General of the State Security Service, our intelligence alleges that the head of one of the chambers of the National Assembly is also part of the plot. A presidential candidate of a major political party is on the plot as well. Also, some ministers of the federal cabinet, a top shelf from the Financial Reporting Council, a member of the leadership of one of the anti-corruption agencies, some former and serving members of parliament, including the one that is currently banding figures he knows are untenable against the bank. At least one top official in the villa, some few desperate officials in the CBN who have been promised to be made heads of departments, including one of the two newly renominated deputy governors who has been promised the top job as the new CBN governor. We have refrained from mentioning their names for obvious reasons. It is on the basis of this that we may say that we are no longer sure that the personal security of the President Muhammadu Buhari, is intact. We therefore call on all who are involved in guaranteeing the personal security of the President to immediately take concrete steps to assure Nigerians of his security. We are constrained, but we shall call for immediate full-scale investigations to ascertain the extent these plotters were willing to go, the real extent of the compromise of the personal security of the President, the veracity of the claims of the Director General of the State Security Service that the CBN governor was involved in terrorism, financing, and economic crimes of national security dimension, and the president he is serving is not aware and has been everywhere around the world with the same CBN governor. We call on our dear president, President Muhammadu Buhari, to immediately remove Mr. Yusuf Magaji Bichi from office as the Director General of the State Security Service and order his immediate arrest for undermining the authority of the president, exposing him to risk and grave danger of unimaginable proportion. Mr. Bichi was fully aware of the president's approval of the cash withdrawal limit, yet he yielded himself to be used to thwart the policy. How could an appointee of the president so brazenly undermine the authority of the president and carry out actions to destabilize the government? We are still in awe why the head of a security agency like the State Security Service would be against a policy that will help to fight banditry, kidnapping, terrorism, all forms of insecurity in our country actually, bribery and corruption, money laundering, vote buying, and all other economic crimes. We cannot fathom the reasons behind these acts of sabotage. Only a thorough investigation can unveil these reasons. Finally, gentlemen, I have written my will because we must serve our fatherland. I now await the actions of these plotters, these enemies of state, but I find refuge in the bosom of the Almighty and under the canopy of his protection. Thank you all, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The coordinator of Coalition of National Interest Defenders has actually read our minds. In that trail, we want to use this opportunity to introduce all the major CSOs, civil society organizations, that are here with us today. We have the Ethnic Youth Leaders Council of Nigeria. They are heavily represented. They are heavily represented. And we have in our midst Nigerian Political Parties Chairman Forum. They are as well heavily represented. Please, a round of applause to all the CSOs here. Thank you and welcome. Now may we most humbly call on the representative of Nigerian Political Parties Chairman Forum to give us their word and their view about this recent development.
As political parties chairman, when we got this information, was that of disbelief. Security agency will claim that it had conducted investigation and labeled a man a terrorist, yet allow that same man to have access to Mr. President. As political party chairman, we lauded the cash withdrawal policy of the Apex Bank because we offer the various aspects of the election. Nigerians will recall that we had earlier urged the president to do all he can to keep his promise to the world to conduct credible 2023 general elections. we believe this cash withdrawal policy limit was to bring that promise to pass. It is therefore worrying that the head of a security agency that should ensure the full implementation of the policy is the one working assiduously to ensure that the policy is reversed. Is it that the security agency loves the massive untraceable cash in circulation in our country, which has aided the activities of bandits and kidnappers? As political parties, we condemn this action of labeling an innocent man a terrorist just to remove him from office, and call on Mr. President to immediately act and sanitize the system so that this will be a deterrent to others who may have such subversive intentions. Thank you and God bless you. I'm Chief Barrister Kenneth today, representing the political parties. Thank you.
A round of applause. A round of applause, please, to Chief Barrister Kenneth Udeze. Now we've heard it from the political parties. They've expressed their concern. We want as well to invite a representative of the ethnic youth leaders. The Ethnic Youth Leaders Council, in the person of Honorable Godwin Meliga, will speak the minds of his association. Thank you. You are welcome.
Thank you very much, Barrister Obed. Great Nigerian youth, gentlemen of the press, as leaders of various ethnic youth leaders in the country, we first of all condemn the act of making false allegations against any person. In particular, we condemn the labeling of the CBN governor as a terrorist by the SSS. You can accuse a fellow of anything, but to call him a terrorist, that is unbelievable. Furthermore, we condemn the attack on the policy by governors, as they are major cause of the poverty ravaging the country. These are people who did not use the bailout funds they collected from federal government for payment of salaries. They did not conduct local government elections so as to bring development closer to the people, and squandered local government allocations running into trillions of naira, but now want to oppose the cash withdrawal policy and pretend they are fighting for the poor masses of Nigeria. They still want a situation where they can loot these funds and use them for vote buying. The situation of Kogi State is a typical example. The comments of these governors are undermining President Muhammadu Buhari and any effort to strengthen our economy. Finally, we comment on the activities of Honorable Gudaji Kazaure. We caution him to stop the obviously untenable figures he is banding because the plot has been exposed. His role has been to create public disdain for the CBN governor, preparatory for the planned adoption, so that public opinion would weigh against him. Having exposed the reasons for his dishonorable actions, we urge him to stop and face his parliamentary duties. The smear campaign is over, and his fake figures, which cannot support any logical inquiry, need to be consigned in the dustbin of ignoble acts. We therefore condemn the action of the SSS and also call for the immediate arrest, detention, investigation, and prosecution of the Director General of SSS for acts which we believe are treasonable in nature. Thank you very much, and may God bless Nigeria.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Honorable Meliga Godwin, the representative of Ethnic Youth Leaders Council of Nigeria. We appreciate you for that. And here and now, we want to hear from our brothers coming from the northern axis. ably being represented by Honorable Kabiru Yusuf, the coordinator of Ariwa Consultative Movement. Please, can you hand over the mic to him? Thank you, you're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of Ariwa Consultative Youth Movement, I will speak in our language, the language that our people understand very well. A cikin jin kunya da juyayi muna magana a matsayin matasan Arewa akan abubuwan da suke faruwa a ƙasar nan. Kowane shugaban ƙasa yakan samu darakta SSS wanda yake amintaccen shi ne, wanda zai zama yana ayyuka na aminci da amana. Amma abin mamaki yadda shi wannan darakta SSS yake wa mai girma shugaban ƙasa kafan angulu akan ayyukan da ake akan abubuwan da suke faruwa a tsakanin nan. Abin damuwa ne kwarai yadda yake gudana da wasu ayyukansa yana zargin shugaban ana zargin shugaban ƙasa yana nuna rashin ƙauna ga al'ummar ƙabilar Igbo da ke Najeriya, wanda yake ba haka bane. Wannan aiki ne da su suke yi wanda ya ja mu shugaban ƙasa wannan wanda ya samu shugaban ƙasa wannan zargin. Gwamnan babban bankin Najeriya Mr. Godwin Emefiele yana ɗaya daga cikin mutumin da ya fito daga kabilar Igbo wanda yake rike da babban mukami a wannan ƙasa namu a cikin wannan gwamnati. Sai kuma gashi ana ta yi masa bita da kulli duk irin gudunmawar da yake bayarwa wajen cin gaba ta bangaren tattalin arzikin ƙasa, musamman ta yadda ya kirkiro da tallafin bashi ga manoma wato anko borrower programs, wanda miliyoyin manoma sun amfana da shirin, wanda hakan ya sa ya bunƙasa tattalin arzikin al'ummar Arewa, jama'a sun azurta matuƙa da gaske. Tambaya a nan shine irin wannan karan tsana da ake yi ma Mr. Godwin Emefiele, gwamnan babban bankin Najeriya, ana yi ne don shi Igbo ne? Tambaya na biyu, shugaban DSS zai iya yi ma shugaban custom irin wannan, ko kuma shugaban NNPC abin irin yadda ake ma wannan shugaban gwamnan babban bankin Najeriya? Haka me yasa aka mai da Emefiele dan ta'adda, ko dan kawai ana so a cire shi ne daga ofishinsa ake sami suna dan ta'adda? Me yasa kake ma wani dan Arewa alƙawarin nada shi gwamnan babban bankin Najeriya CBN, kuma kai ba shugaban ƙasa ba? Haba wannan bai kyautu ba. Shugaban ƙasa mutum ne wanda ya yi imani da Najeriya guda ɗaya ce, mu ma a Arewa mun yi amanna da Najeriya ɗaya ce, don haka muna Allah wadai da wannan abin, kuma muna kira ga shugaba Muhammadu Buhari da ya ɗauki mataki ladabtarwa ga duk wanda yake da wannan ƙuduri na raba kan al'ummar Najeriya. Ba za mu amince shugaban ƙasa ba. A ƙarshe muna addu'a Ubangiji Allah ya albarkaci ƙasarmu Najeriya, Allah ya mai da kowa gidan shi lafiya. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Kabiru, for speaking our voice. We heard you and we heard you clearly. You are most welcomed. Please, we want at this moment to hear from another CSO, African Center for Justice and Human Rights, ably represented by the Director of Communications in the person of Adobe Sandra Aniche. Thank you. You're welcome, Adobe.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The African Center for Justice and Human Rights condemns the wrongful use of the law by the security agencies to victimize innocent citizens. It is worthy of severe punishment by the President against all officials of his government who played any role in his plots to destabilize the government. We call on the Attorney General of the Federation to swing into action and unravel those who were involved and the roles they played to undermine the president. We also call on the National Assembly to immediately look at all the laws which can be wrongly used by security agencies to abuse the rights of citizens, to consider amending them or inserting clauses which would make it impossible for innocent people to be victimized. It has become obvious that what can assuage Nigerians now and assure them that the president will continue to be safe is the immediate suspension, arrest, and investigation of the Director General of the State Security Services. After Mr. Godwin Emefiele, who knows who would have been next? They tagged the Secretary of the Government of the Federation and the Attorney General of the Federation as persons of interest to take down. Maybe both men would have been linked to the terrorism with fictitious evidence. People cannot be allowed to run amok unchallenged. ACJHR will continue its vigilance in the protection of the human rights of citizens, and we cannot shy away from it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Ada Obi Sandra from the African Center for Justice and Human Rights. Furthermore, we want to, for the benefit of those who did not continue with us while we started this program, we want to hand over to the leader and coordinator of the Coalition of National Interest Defenders to give further expatiation of our purpose of being here today.
Thank you once again, gentlemen. We're gathered here to inform the world of our discovery of a shocking action taken by the State Security Service of labeling the Central Bank Governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, as a terrorist. And even after labeling him and filing in court that they had conducted investigations which indicted him as being the one in charge of terrorism financing in Nigeria, they still allowed him to travel with the president to the United States of America, from where we also on television last night when the president came back, there is no news that the CBN governor has come back into the country. So if truly the Director General of the State Security Service believed that he had information or facts or evidence that indicted the central bank governor, why would he allow the said person, who he has alleged formally and officially before a court, to travel with the person of the president? So they have filed a suit hearing in the court in the suit number FXC/ABJ/CS/225/2022 between State Security Service and Godwin Emefiele. And in this ruling, the judge, I will just take a line of what the judge said in this ruling. The judge said, and I read, "It is noted," and the judge that gave this ruling is the Honorable Chief Judge of the Federal High Court. Is the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court gave the ruling. And he said, "It is noted," I'm just taking a part of it. "It is noted that it has been the practice of the applicant to seek detention of a respondent for further detention or definite time period when such respondent is already arrested and is in their custody. And that fact is clearly disclosed in the supporting affidavit. That is not the situation here. As Godwin Emefiele, the governor of CBN, was shown on television last night having audience with the president of Nigeria. It therefore seems that the applicant intends to use this court as a cover for an irregular procedure which is unacceptable. The judge went further to say, to decline granting them the order they sought. It is good that we have this now. The judge declined to grant them the order. The judge declined to grant them the order, and he also said, he declined to grant them this order. So this is the suit. Again, they've been busted. The suit is suit number FHC/ABJ/CS/2255/2022. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, now we have to show our dissatisfaction with the activities of the men of SSS by raising our protest banners. If you have the protest banner, please, can you raise it up while the national anthem is going up? We support the good policies of the president, but we are in total disagreement with this heinous, orchestrated action of the men of SSS. Please raise up your protest banners. Raise up your protest banners while the national anthem is ongoing. And kindly stand up. Thank you. This moment, we are going all out to tell all Nigerians how we felt about this development. So please, we are kindly asking you to quietly file out of the hall while we show Nigerians our dissatisfaction. Thank you, thank you. Please let your banners be up. We don't want the banners to be down. Let your banners be up. We're going to express our dissatisfaction with this development. It is one that it cannot go down with Nigerians. It is one that we frown at. Even when the CBN governor has doled out policies that will reduce crime, that will reduce corruption, that will extinguish terrorism in this country. And some persons feel like gods to themselves to charge him with terrorism actions. Please, kindly file out of the hall. Kindly file out of the hall. Let us show Nigerians our dissatisfaction.